Alright, so today I'm back with yet another chapter review, and today we will go over chapter 314 part 1, which, I'm going to be honest, is really short. However, it's pretty crazy, as the Blue Lockers have started adapting to the Nigerian team already, and not to mention that the Blue Lockers are in a super dangerous goal opportunity. But you will just have to sit back and watch to find out what happens. Anyway, please leave a like and a comment, as well as subscribe to my other channels down in the description. And with that out of the way, let's get into it. So to begin chapter 314, part 1, also called Core, we see Aiku being super locked in, as he says that it's just like their simulation. I'm guessing that he is referring to their training before, and that they tried to predict and simulate how this match would go. Anyway, back to Aiku, who says that the Nigerian players are leveraging their physical abilities to make and receive outrageous passes, and then try to finish by passing to their ace striker to score goals, saying that it's a single endpoint system. We also see Onatsi for a quick second as he starts to run back, as he was at his own goal just recently, and saved the goal. Aiku then screams second ball to the Blue Lock team. While he thinks that for them, they have an egotist system that can score from anywhere, he thinks that they are different types, but that they're both playing hyper-offense soccer. Aiku then smirks and says that it's going just like how they imagined it, calling it a clash of offense versus offense. After that, we see Obo Abona completely destroying Rin, as Rin had no shot at getting to the second ball, as Obo Abona was already in the sky and heading it away. He says that he made it and calls it a nice clear. After that, the ball falls to Kuso, and he also compliments Obo Abona, but calls him Obo, which I thought was pretty cool. I really just like when characters have their own nicknames. Anyway, Kuso then gets ready to turn around, as he says that it's time for a rapid counter, but just as he turns around to the Blue Locker's side, he spots Isagi being right in front of him. Kuso thinks that he responded so fast, and that he came to crush Kuso with a high press. Kuso then tells Isagi that he is good, but just then, another one enters the playing field, and it's Ryo, who comes by Isagi's side and tells him that it's time to hunt, and Isagi says, yeah. Ryo going in kind of throws Kuso a bit off guard. However, he manages to keep it nicely, as he puts his hands on both of their cores, which makes it harder for them to move how they want to. Kuso then thinks that both Ryo and Isagi moved in like ruthlessly efficient predators. Just when Kuso is in a rather tricky situation, Onatsi comes behind him and screams his name, telling Kuso that he is here. Kuso looks at him and manages to get off a really nice looking backheel pass to Onatsi, and tells him that it was a great backup. But just then, Karasu comes by and steals the ball, telling them that they are so ordinary, and that they are playing too obviously, and calls them dumbasses as he smirks. Onatsi is a bit shocked by this before he just says oopsie, and I like how the main star of their team is just goofy in these types of situations, while on the other hand, Kuso is the more serious one, as he immediately says that their coordination was suddenly rendered ineffective and says that they saw through them in just the span of 2 minutes as well. Kuso continues as he says that Blue Lock has already started to adapt to them. Karasu, who now has the ball, is beginning to run towards their box, and the Blue Lockers have a ton of passing options, as we see Hiyori, Ryo, and Isagi all being possible players to get the pass. However, Hiyori is in the most dangerous position of them all, so one of the Nigerian players tells the others to cover him and to look out for another cross. Karasu just smirks, and he says sorry, before telling them that he is a real bully, and he then manages to get off a pass to his right, before the defender manages to get it off him. And on the right, we find the clear number 1 and future superstar of Blue Lock Chigiri, who looks super fired up and says that it's time to charge up the line. The defender from before just looks at this in shock and is amazed that they went with the other side. Another defender then comes by and tries to stop Chigiri, but it's no use at all, as Chigiri flashes past him and gets past him with no effort at all. Kuso looks at this, however, and outside of being impressed by the Pink Panther, he says that this time, rather than charge up the middle, they are racing up the side, and he screams out for his team to watch out for an incoming cross. Hey, it's Natsu mid-editing here, and I just wanted to pause the video to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already, and while you're already down there, why not leave a like as well? However, Chigiri wouldn't let himself be stopped, as he tells them that they were too slow, and he makes a no-diesel cross, which I have no idea what it means, but whatever, it looks super cool, so we will go with it. Anyway, Kuso is ahead of Rin, and it looks like the cross is heading to Rin, so Kuso decides to try and stay close to him, but he quickly realizes the fatal flaw he has made, as the cross wasn't going to Rin, but instead to Isagi, who looks super locked in with his Metavision eyes out as he says that it's his. However, at the bottom we see a white shoe, meaning that it's one of the Nigerian players, and they simply says nope. Now honestly, let's be honest, it's probably Onatsi who will come to ruin the fun. But yeah, we will get into it more later, but this is at least the full part 1 of the chapter. I know that it might be a bit sad only having half off the chapter this week, and with such a cliffhanger as well. However, there's nothing we can do, and let's just hope that this wasn't because of something worse like the authors getting sick or something like that. However, while on the topic on it, why not bring you guys some more bad news, which is that next week there is a break. However, after that, around August 19th, we will get the second part of chapter 314. So yeah, we will have to wait around 2 weeks for the next part. But with that said, we also have the title of chapter 315 already revealed, and it's called Robbery Arc. Now it's pretty hard to speculate what that chapter will be about, as we doesn't even have the full chapter 314 out yet. However, I'm guessing that it will refer to Aiku, and what I think will happen is that Onatsi comes in the next part and steals the ball from Isagi, and then he alongside Kuso and Bello starts their own counterattack. But in chapter 315, they get stopped by Aiku, who gets to shine in the spotlight. I think chapter 315 is at least fitting with the Aiku, as it's called Robbery Arc, as we remember his own thing in the U20 arc with being a cop and all of that. However, there's also a big possibility that it won't go like that, as a lot of people in my leak video speculated that Isagi could pull out his 2 gun volleys here and actually manage to score the goal. Now honestly, sadly, I don't think that it's what is going to happen. However, I would also be kind of down for it. I think that either Isagi or Rin will be the ones who gets the first goal for Blue Lock, as it just makes sense in my eyes. However, something in my doubts that it will happen now. I also spoke a bit about this in my leak video, and I know that Onatsi's whole character is kind of like being the main star of the team and overshadowing everyone else. However, I find that kind of annoying. So if Blue Lock doesn't get the goal here, then I would like it to be either Obo Abona or Bello to stop Isagi here much more than Onatsi as him. Firstly, almost scoring, stopping Rin's goal in the last chapter, to now stopping yet another close goal. I just don't kind of like that scenario. Now obviously I know that it probably won't be Bello who is here unfortunately, but still, Obo Abona could be here and get away the ball from Isagi. But that's just my opinion, as I don't really like it when a team pretty much only have 1 star player, and spreading out the highlights between the 4 of the Nigerian team would be the thing which I would like the most. However, I have seen a lot of people disagreeing with me, so each to their own, and I guess that we can just wait and see. However, do I think that it will be a goal here? No, not really, and my guess is for it to be Onatsi who comes and stop it. However, please let me know down in the comments what you predict will happen, as we have a lot of time to speculate while we wait for part 2. Some other things I want to talk about is that I am interested to learn how the Nigerian team will adapt to the Blue Lockers adapting to them, if that makes sense, as they have pretty much already seen through them, which isn't hard with Karasu and Aiku on the team. As firstly, Karasu is just an analytical beast, and Aiku has his past national team experience with him. Now if you really thought that I would stop the video before talking about the GOAT Chigiri, then you would be wrong, as just seeing him getting some screen time made me really happy, and I really hope that he just keeps on getting more and more, because let's be honest, seeing him flashing through the other player was just so cold. Also, while on the topic of speed stars, I would want to see Yukimiya getting subbed in soon, just so we could see him having a bit of back and forth with Kuso. However, that might be too much to ask, but we gotta wish right. Him and Corona are the ones who I would want to see subbed in next. However, I do think that the chance for Corona to get subbed in is pretty small if we are honest. But with that, I would love to hear if there's any players you would like to see getting subbed in, and also what you just thought about this chapter. Now yes, this was really short and only half of it, but still it was pretty dope in my opinion, so please let me know yours. Anyway, if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel, and while you are at it, leave a comment and a like, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you are curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video that will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye.